You know, there's something special about the way time moves in Istanbul. The city sits at the crossroads of history, with one foot in Europe, the other in Asia, and its heart beating in the rhythm of 1,000 years. I had always wanted to visit. Istanbul, they say, gets under your skin. And like so many places, it's not the landmarks or the tourist attractions that make it memorable, but the small moments. The little things you stumble upon when you're not even looking. It was a warm summer weekend when I found myself walking through the winding streets of Sultanahmet, the morning sun casting long shadows over the ancient stones of the Hagia Sophia. That magnificent building stood before me, its history stretching back to the 6th century. A church, then a mosque, now a museum. And all the while, it had been the witness to more human drama than one could ever imagine. As I stepped inside, the sheer size of the place was overwhelming. The dome, impossibly high, seemed to hold up the very sky itself. The air was cool, filled with the scent of incense, and the light filtering through the stained glass windows turned the space into something otherworldly. I took my time, letting the silence wash over me. The murals on the walls, the calligraphy that curved like whispers, spoke of a time when faith, power, and art intertwined. I couldn't help but wonder about all the stories those walls had seen. Stories of empires rising and falling, of love and loss, of humanity in all its complexity. Later that evening, I found myself on a ferry crossing the Bosphorus. The cool evening breeze whispered through the air and the lights of the city twinkled along the shore. You could see the old and the new, ancient minarets standing tall beside modern skyscrapers. It was a reminder that Istanbul has always been a bridge, connecting two worlds, two cultures, two histories.
What will we find? Oh, it is good to be out of that old city. So this is the main city gate. They have a moat, an outer wall, a middle wall, and then the main wall that I'm standing on. The Crusades got through, and I think they only breached the walls because it was someone left a gate open. That's what the internet told me. And it wasn't until, even Attila the Hun didn't try to besiege this city. The Russians tried a couple of times. And it was only when the Ottomans came with their cannons that it finally fell. And you can see why it would have been an impossible task to get through this city with these walls protecting it. Obviously a bit of restoration work going on. Istanbul, it's nothing like I actually expected it would be. There's so much history here, but obviously there's that language barrier, and just talking to people, no one is that happy about speaking English, it seems. And so culturally, as an Australian in Turkey, it is, and being a Muslim country as well, yeah, I mean, there's heaps to see from a history and museum point of view, so it has been pretty awesome. And I'll show some of that, but yeah, not exactly what I thought it was going to be like. I wasn't prepared for the heat either. It's been 30-degree days and walking around, and the Turkish, they have a lot of time. They don't rush. That's such a big contrast to Australia, where everything is just get it now. Especially in Melbourne, you want a coffee, boom. But here, I think I bought a shirt. Well, I did buy a shirt, and I waited half an hour to buy a $6 shirt, and there was only 4 people in front of me. I don't know how it took them so long, but that's just how they do things here. Everything's slow, which is nice, and it sort of has to be, because if you move any quicker you start sweating. And that, incidentally, is another aspect of Turkey I wasn't expecting. There's a few smells getting around, so you got to get used to that. I mean, I'm probably one of them because it's pretty hot. I could be wrong, but I don't know if the Muslims wear deodorant as a religious thing. Someone did tell me that, but he was a Mexican, so I'm yet to clarify that one. Yeah, it's been pretty fun. Just checking out the city. There's a lot of tourist traps too, like expensive to see all that stuff they tell you to see on like, you know, you Google what to do in Istanbul and it just tells you Hagia Sophia. You know, yeah, you got to see it, but you know, you're waiting around in line for like an hour if you get there early. And the bus, you know, the system near it as well. That's pretty cool though. Like, there is some fascinating historic monuments to see, but it's a very busy, hot place. So yeah, I did have a bit of culture shock. Oh, it's been good.